I'm going to teach you the importance of keeping your feet pointed as a dancer. Generally, you're going to keep your feet pointed unless you're going for a certain aesthetic with a flex foot, but for the most part, you want to keep your line straight and elegant, which means you're going to point your feet. Pointing your feet does not mean crinkling your toes. Pointing your feet does not mean halfway pointing your foot. Pointing your feet means engaging through your ankle all the way down your foot. So right now my feet are just in a relaxed state, right? I've got a little bend in my knees, my feet are relaxed. But when you're dancing, you don't want to keep your feet relaxed, or even worse, like this. Look, it kind of looks like my feet are screaming. You want to make sure that you point your feet. So there's a difference between pointing your feet and scrunching your toes. This is scrunching your toes, right? Just bunching your toes up. So to make sure that you're pointing your toes, that action needs to come from in here where your ankles are. So you want to extend the line of your legs. So right now I'm just engaging my quads so my feet are lifting a little bit. See? So engaging my quads. From there, I want to extend this line. So straight through here, I'm going to keep bending. Straight through here, I'm going to keep bending. And if you're not used to it, you might get a cramp in your foot here, or if you've got other foot problems, but you can practice this. To practice pointing your feet, when you're just resting on your couch or wherever, you can think about engaging your legs, so squeezing through your quad, and just flexing and pointing. Flex, point. Flex, point. Also, when you're exercising, when you're hinging over, that's another one. You can grab a hold of your toes. Think about flattening your back, bending over, lifting your heels off the ground, keeping your legs engaged, and then you can point through the feet and try to get a little further down. You can also use resistance bands, but you might want to practice just pointing and flexing first, because if you get too used to the resistance bands, sometimes when you're pushing against them to get you used to this motion and of pushing and engaging from the ankle, you might curl your toe like this, trying to push, or you might get stuck here in this half point. So really go through all the movements of it. So you can go from a relaxed foot to a flex foot, bring your toes towards your face, and you can do a half point, so you're reaching through the ankle, but you're keeping the toes flexed. This part of the foot is arching up, and then you keep going and point the toes. Then you can go backwards, bend just the toes back, foot is still engaged, then roll the feet back and flex. Half point, full point, half point, flex, relaxed. So you can go through all the stages of it, or you can just do the point and flex. I would do both, but the more you do it, the stronger your feet get, the stronger the stability in your ankles will be. It's good for your balance. It's just all around good to point and flex. You can also do it laying on your back. Point, flex, point, flex. It's good to add into your ab routine. So when you're on the floor, of course, you can reach up for your toes, point, reach for your toes. You can also do some side to side movement. But even here, just engaging your quads, you can see the difference. There's a micro bend here. Now I'm engaging my quads, pushing through here. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. Keep engaging through the quads, point. You can also take some circles around in both directions. Those will be good too. Some examples of what it looks like. So right here, my foot is just relaxed. If I curl my toes, looks weird. If I flex my foot, looks weird. If I half point, it looks weird. Pointed foot, engaged leg, looks really good. Engaging my leg, I'm squeezing from my quad so my knee is straight. I've got a little micro bend, which is a little bend in the leg. It's not quite as cute as this. So you want to think about keeping your leg straight, straightening from your quad, engaging your whole leg, pushing through this ankle, and keeping the leg straight and in alignment, not bending. And it definitely makes a difference when you're wearing shoes. So you can see the bend in the foot. Bend the foot. You can hide it when you're wearing shoes a little bit. You can get away with it a little bit more, but the line is still so much cleaner when you're pointing your foot. Okay, so here you can see I've got my boots on, engaging my quad. Right now my feet are pointed. Right now my feet are relaxed. And now my feet are flexed. So you can see a lot sexier when my feet are pointed than they are just hanging out, or even worse, flexed. So let's say I'm here with it. Right now I'm engaging my leg. Right now my foot's just hanging out, relaxed. Right now it's flexed. It looks kind of weird. Right now it's pointed. So much better when it's pointed. Now there are times when you might flex for exaggeration. For example, if I flex, point coming up, flex going down. Point coming up, flex going down. That might be an aesthetic that you are doing. But generally, you don't want to keep your foot flexed or just loose and lackadaisical. You want to point and engage. So another thing that you want to be mindful of, aside from scrunching up your toes like this, is of sickling your foot, which is when your foot is rotating one way or the other and not staying straight in the alignment with your leg. So you don't want it doing this. I'm going to keep it straight. I hope this information helped. Just be mindful of what your feet are doing when you're dancing or performing. Having straight lines always helps, always looks a lot better. Engage through your quad, engage through your ankle, keep your foot pointed, keep it sexy.